Let's talk about speed bumps. So, if you're watching this in order, lovely. If this is finding you whenever it finds you, this is your first video, let's recap. I help people rest. I call myself the Radical Joy Coach. I help folks center and prioritize joy, care, and rest in their lives. And these conversations are just that. It's just me giving you anecdotal help. So let's talk about speed bumps. Yesterday, I went to go see a dear friend, and as I was leaving, there were these speed bumps. As I was pulling out of my parking spot, there were these speed bumps, and there was space where I could have maneuvered around them, just kept my speed that I had going on. I kept going, but I didn't. I slowed down and I let the car glide over the speed bumps with a swiftness. In life, if you see where I'm going with this, you see where I'm going with this. In life, oftentimes when we are presented with speed bumps, we see them in advance, but we like to pretend that they don't apply for us, they're for somebody else. We have enough time to slow down and prepare for them, but we often just try and will our way through it. Like, just hit the gas, it'll be fine, I'll be okay. And what happens when you go through a speed bump without slowing down first? You can really mess up your car. You could really mess up your car. Where in your life, you know where I'm going with this, where in your life have speed bumps been presented to you? Speed bumps that are there to not only protect the people in the neighborhood, people who may be pedestrians, other drivers, but protect you. Where in your life have those speed bumps shown up and you have denied seeing them before you went over them? Where in your life, maybe there's a speed bump right now, there's a call coming from inside the house right now for you to slow down and rest. Slow down. Just slightly change your pace. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down, right? Because I will give it to you. There are moments in life also that we cannot anticipate or expect or prepare for. That's life, right? But in this particular instance, think about times in your life you look back where you see the call that was coming from inside the house. Maybe it was a cue in your body. There was additional stress that you hadn't dealt with. Maybe there was a call from a family member, especially if you have kids, where it's just like, hey, do you have to work this job? Whatever that might have looked like that preceded the speed bump. That was like, hey, maybe I do need to slow down. Hey, maybe I take that job. It's like lower pay and not in a high cost of living city, but like I would have greater quality of life. Maybe I need to get this like thing checked out because like I've been having a hard time sleeping, or blood pressure issues, or panic attacks, or whatever those things may be. Those little whispers. I had someone say this to me. Her name is Grace, and she said, you have to either listen to the whispers or you'll have to listen to the screams. What are whispers? What are those whispers happening before the speed bump in your life right now that you're avoiding? I'll give an example. I feel like this year, 2024 was definitely the whisper, and this year was beautiful but hard. I had to practice what I preach in terms of slowing down and resting and taking that practice very seriously for myself. I had to adjust it. I hadn't adjusted it. I wasn't really checking in with myself. My nervous system was so over the place. I was so stressed because of world events, personal events, how world events impact me personally, like all that. But this year, I feel like because I have had so many instances where I see the speed bump, right, but I don't honor it, in the past, this year, I heard the whispers and I said, I'm not waiting for the screams. I'm not waiting for the screams. I'm seeing the signs, and the signs are not subtle around my stress, around my lack of sleep, around like all these things. They're not subtle, so I'm going to listen to them. Especially when you feel like this is the worst time to take a break. This, like, there's just no way that you could do it right now. That's absolutely the sign that you need to. Let's say that again. When you feel like perhaps this is the worst possible time to be taking any type of break or making any type of adjustment that changes your pace to slow down, when you feel like that much pressure, that simply slowing down would throw everything off its course, that is exactly when you need to take a break. That's why that speed bump showed up. That's why that speed bump is right in front of you. Now, you can veer off course if you want to and keep that speed, and hopefully the tires and the undercarriage of your car are okay. But why risk that? Like, where are you going that requires you to go 60, 70 miles over a freaking speed bump? Again, metaphorically here, right? Where are you going, love? And if you get there faster, but the vehicle, you, is in disrepair. Sorry, the door is like being weird. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to get to your destination and not even be able to enjoy it because you're in so much pain? I'm going to say that again. Is it worth it to get to your destination and not be able to enjoy it because you're in so much pain? Maybe there's something running with this metaphor now. Maybe there's something along this road that the speed bump is meant to help you see. Maybe there's another car coming towards you that you weren't paying attention to. Maybe there's a shop off the side of the road that you're meant to walk into. Maybe you just needed to see the sunset and remind yourself that you're human. But where are you going? Where are you going that requires you to not be able to take a break? Where are you going that requires you to forfeit your humanity? Where are you going that requires you to disengage from any type of enjoyment? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? If your whole life is just a speed run to get to the next stop and the next stop and the next stop, can you even look back and say, oh my God, you know what? When I had to stop here, I don't know, I stopped at Buc-ee's and I had the best brisket sandwich ever. Or when I stopped here, I was able to go to this really beautiful park and see this lake. Like, so much of what matters in our life, because it's so short, are the stories and memories that we create. Not just the destinations, not the ascension, not the before and after. It's the during, where we spend the majority of our time. And if you are so concentrated on only ever getting to the after, what story will you have when you get there? What memories will you be able to share when you get there? And this isn't putting my dad on Front Street. Grew up in a military family. And I remember one duty station where I don't think I ever saw my dad sleep. Like, legitimately, there are pictures of him dog tired. And sometimes when we bring up things, it's not like he has a bad memory. It's just like he cannot remember most of that time there because he was working so hard. Do you want that to be your entire life, where you can't remember moments of joy, moments where you were able to savor a meal, moments where you were able to sit in a really good conversation, moments of sensuality and sensory enrichment, moments of laughter? Do you really want that to be what happens? Is that you just speed through life? And then what? We know how this story ends. We know where we're not to be bleak, not to be dark. We know where this goes, right? We already know the destination. You might as well enjoy the ride. And I feel like speed bumps, again, I'm beating this metaphor to death. Speed bumps in your life are there to help you slow down, are there to keep you safe, and to keep others safe. And they're also there to help you adjust your perspective. Now, if you watch these other videos, I talked about letting things crumble, letting things fall apart, picking up the broken pieces to really see yourself and remind yourself of your agency. And Lord, I forgot what I talked about. And yesterday was recognizing, no, it's coming to me. Hold on, it's coming to me. Recognizing something. Your agency, recognizing that you've always, like, what you want, what you really truly want is not going to be found externally. You already have it. You've always had it. And with this, it's about shifting your perspective. The reason why you lived an incongruent life, the reason why you were hiding behind an emotional facade and mask was because you were afraid to shift your perspective. You were afraid to see yourself. You were afraid to admit what it really is. You were afraid to possibly see that those relationships that you spend time in, but you don't really cherish your time in, were not worth it. Were not what you actually needed. You needed your perspective to change, to recognize that. When was the last time you told somebody what you needed? When was the last time you asked for help? When was the last time you allowed yourself to be held emotionally and physically by people who care about you? When was the last time you were really honest about your own agency? Speed bumps will do that for you. Speed bumps will help you slow down enough to see what is going on around you. You don't have to speed run through life, baby. Like, that's not what we're here for. Things are frenetic and scary and uneven and uncertain right now. That is human history. We are feeling it at a level we have probably not felt before. But again, if you can't manage, heal, be present in your inner world, and everything is rooted in your outer world, of course you want to speed run through everything. Of course you want to hit the gas over that speed bump. You don't want to slow down. Slowing down is painful. Slowing down is hard. And it is also necessary. If you want to shift your perspective and see what you have, really have, or don't, in this life, you got to hit those speed bumps. You got to slow down. Don't run over them. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. I promise you, you're going to be okay. I promise you, you're going to get through this. Sometimes the fear of slowing down keeps us from, we think it helps us and keeps us away from the pain of acknowledging where we really are, the pain of being present. But if we can't get through the pain of being present, we can't see the beauty of it either. We can't see what we really do have, what we really are holding on to, who we really are. Slow down, beloved. It's okay. Stop skipping those speed bumps.